Hold on to your seats, because this is the biggest twist in pop culture you never saw coming. JoJo Siwa, Fletcher, and Billie Eilish, three of the biggest names in music and queer representation, are now making headlines for dating men.
Billie Eilish is happier than ever. She confirmed her new romance with Nat Wolff by packing on the PDA during a romantic getaway to Venice, Italy.
Yes, you heard that right. Are they turning their backs on the LGBTQ+ community, or is there something deeper going on? Let's break it all down, because by the end of this video, you might be rethinking everything you thought you knew. Setting the stage, JoJo Siwa has never shied away from the spotlight. Her decision to come out as gay in 2021 was seen as a landmark moment, especially for younger fans who finally saw someone like them in mainstream media. She received overwhelming support, becoming a face for Gen Z queerness. So, when new photos showed her in the English countryside with British reality TV star Chris Hughes, many fans were stunned. Was this a shift in her identity or just another layer of it? The media frenzy that followed was intense. Articles poured in, dissecting every detail of their trip. Candlelit dinners, hand-holding, and affectionate glances, JoJo didn't shy away from being seen. But she didn't offer an apology either. Instead, she spoke candidly in interviews. "I love people for who they are, not what they are." That line stuck with people. Some praised her for standing in her truth. Others accused her of exploiting the LGBTQ+ label for fame. JoJo's evolution didn't happen overnight. She's been vocal about how the LGBT+ label gave her freedom, but not limits. In interviews, she's explained how hard it is to be placed into a box.
When I came out at 17, I said I'm pansexual because I don't care about gender. But then I kind of boxed myself in and I said I'm a lesbian. And I think I did that because of the pressure.
And how that very box started to feel like another version of the closet. What people saw as betrayal, JoJo described as liberation. But even in her liberation, she faced criticism. JoJo had to block comments, take breaks from posting, and lean on close friends. The mental toll of public scrutiny isn't talked about enough. The backlash and community response. Then came the online outrage. Tweets, TikToks, think pieces.
Siwa is putting Nickelodeon on blast in a series of fiery tweets,
all accusing JoJo of queer baiting or going back in the closet. The fact that this happened in June, during Pride Month, made the backlash even more volatile. But here's where things get complicated. Is it fair to criticize someone for changing, for evolving? Or are fans more upset about losing a symbol they've attached their own identity to? This wasn't just random outrage either. LGBTQ+ creators, influencers, and commentators began debating publicly. Some called for understanding and compassion, arguing that queerness is a spectrum and love doesn't have rules. Others said it hurt too much, especially for people who felt seen by JoJo's earlier coming-out journey. It became more than a celebrity romance. It was a symbol of the fragility of representation. The backlash reveals something deeper. The LGBT+ community sometimes struggles with the very diversity it celebrates. Labels are meant to give people clarity and safety, but when those labels are used to gatekeep, they become walls. People like JoJo and Fletcher aren't rejecting queerness. They're revealing how broad and complex it really is. And it raises a difficult question. What happens when the people we put on pedestals stop fitting into the narratives we've written for them? Enter Fletcher. Fletcher's story isn't so different. Known for hits like Undrunk and Becky's So Hot, she's built an empire on queer heartbreak and raw, relatable lyrics. That's why her new single, Boy, sparked so much backlash. The title alone shocked fans, but the lyrics, even more. It wasn't just a song about liking a man, it was about falling hard for one. Fletcher's queer fans didn't know how to react. Was she still one of them? Her team tried to preempt the backlash with a carefully worded press release, emphasizing Fletcher's identity as queer and fluid. But social media doesn't always read the fine print. Some accused her of abandoning the community, while others clapped back. She never said she was a lesbian, y'all just assumed.
I'm weighing in on the Fletcher discourse not just as a lesbian, but as a songwriter. Guys, that's the biggest problem.
The deeper truth? Fletcher is proof that representation is often more projection than reality. Let's not forget, Fletcher has always danced around labels. Her music has always been about emotion, heartbreak, and vulnerability. What makes Boy so triggering for fans isn't the subject matter. It's that it challenged their assumptions. When you've built your identity around shared stories, Watching that story take a turn can feel like a personal betrayal. But maybe what Fletcher's trying to show is that growth isn't linear, attraction isn't fixed, and being queer doesn't mean you're frozen in time. Billie's curveball? Then there's Billie Eilish, always an enigma, always elusive.
I've spent my life loving girls and being really worried that they hate me for some reason and wanting to impress them and whatever else.
When she admitted she was attracted to women, it was subtle, understated, and yet fans embraced it fully. So when she was seen laughing and kissing actor Nat Wolff in Venice,
Billie Eilish is happier than ever. She confirmed her new romance with Nat Wolff by packing on the PDA during a romantic getaway to Venice, Italy.
the internet practically exploded. For some, it felt like betrayal. For others, it felt like nothing at all. Just a 22-year-old being human. But Billie isn't just a pop star. She's a global brand. Every move she makes is watched, judged, dissected. Her team hasn't issued a statement, and Billie herself has remained mostly quiet. That silence has allowed rumors to grow. Is this just a summer fling? Is she reclaiming fluidity? Or is this something deeper we won't know about for months? Billie's silence has become its own kind of statement. In a media landscape where everyone rushes to explain themselves, her decision to stay quiet stands out. Some say it's strategic, that she's letting the public react before saying anything. Others believe it's authentic, that Billie doesn't believe she owes anyone an explanation. And maybe that's the lesson. When you know who you are, you don't have to justify it. Still, her silence leaves fans spinning, creating space for both rumors and revelations. Beyond the headlines, the backlash surrounding all three of these women exposes a bigger issue: how we place pressure on celebrities to represent entire communities. JoJo, Fletcher, and Billie never agreed to be the face of anyone's identity journey. And yet, because of their fame, because of their bravery, they were automatically put on pedestals. But what happens when the pedestal wobbles? It's not just a fan issue, it's a media issue too. Headlines either sensationalize their new relationships or frame them as betrayals. Nuance is lost in favor of clicks. In this world, bisexuality and queerness are still too often misunderstood. There's this underlying idea that once someone dates a man, they're suddenly not queer enough. And that's a dangerous and outdated mindset. What this moment reveals more than anything is the fragility of representation. We desperately want to see ourselves in our idols. We want certainty, visibility, and community. But the truth is, no one, not even JoJo, Fletcher, or Billie, signed up to carry that responsibility alone. These women are growing up, making mistakes, falling in love, and finding themselves just like the rest of us. If we can't allow them the space to do that, what kind of message are we really sending? The bigger picture. So, what's really happening here? Are these artists just living their truths, or are they feeding into a system that expects them to perform their queerness for an audience? Are we, as fans, supporting their freedom, or are we holding them hostage to our expectations? Maybe the real question is, do we celebrate authenticity, or do we only cheer when it's comfortable? There's also the deeper issue of biphobia within the LGBTQ+ community itself. Too often, someone who identifies as bisexual or queer is treated as not queer enough if they're seen with someone of the opposite sex. This internal policing creates a culture where fluidity is punished, and that's the exact opposite of what Pride is supposed to represent. But here's the twist you didn't see coming. Just yesterday, JoJo hinted that even she's not sure about labels anymore. Fletcher's upcoming music video promises yet another twist in her story, and fans are dying to see if she'll finally pick a side. And Billie? Insiders say she's gearing up for a major announcement that could shake the entire internet. Is it a new album, a new label, or something even bigger? One thing's for sure, these stories are far from over. So if you think you've seen it all, think again. Hit subscribe, because what's coming next might just change everything.